What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Football Talk. That's right, episode 12, coming at you on 11/16 of 2013. And welcome to the show, the only show that allows two guys to talk like Georgia Bulldog fans and get away with it, but without being stared at for hours and hours and hours. Yeah, so after I get that little spiel out of the way, I hope you guys are doing good today as we head into some of the final weeks of football for NCAA and NFL. It's going to be week 11 this weekend. And I'm excited to see what happens as we dive into the scores from this past weekend of the NFL, not NCAA. NFL on Thursday Night Football last week. Minnesota took down Washington 34-27. That was a big upset right there. Adrian Peterson rushed for the game-winning touchdown, and it was beautifully done. On Sunday, Seahawks headed into Atlanta to take on the Falcons. Seahawks walked away with the victory 33-10. I watched this game. It was an absolute slaughterfest, and I think that everybody that's watching it can agree with that. There was only Seahawks fans left in the stadium after the third quarter was up. The Eagles headed into Lambeau Field and took down the Packers, 27-13. It kills me. It kills me, man. I'm not even gonna talk about that, man. But yeah, I guess I have to. Nick Foles threw for 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 228 yards. He did good. He did very good. I'm happy to see him doing well. I like Nick Foles, but I'm sad it came at the cost of the Packers losing another game. Detroit headed into Soldier Field and shocked the Bears 21-19. I was happy, and I was glad to see the Bears fall like they usually do. Jacksonville picked up their first win of the season. I thought it was going to come eventually, but I didn't know it was come this soon. But they did beat the good Titans team 29-27. As good old Jake Locker left the game and is out for the rest of the year with a broken leg, I believe. St. Louis walked into Indianapolis and destroyed the Colts. That's right, St. Louis, the Rams, destroyed the Colts 38-8. Tavon Austin went off. It was a great game on both sides. Just kidding, because the defense of the Colts sucked. And, they were up like 31. No, they were up like 30. I think they were up 31-0 at one point. St. Louis was. So, yeah, let's not go there. Oakland headed into MetLife Stadium and walked away with a loss, losing to the Giants 24-20 as the Giants picked up their, I believe, third straight win of the season. So, they after their bye week, they came back and won 3 straight, which is interesting and kind of weird. To me, I thought that team was going to sink, but they haven't yet. Pittsburgh dismantled the Bills 23-10 in Pittsburgh. Good win for the Steelers. They needed that desperately. Cincinnati headed into Baltimore, take on the good old Ravens, and they took them to overtime. Bengals did. Came back from behind, took them to overtime, and off of a beautiful touchdown by A.J. Green in the end zone off of a tip and a Hail Mary. But Baltimore did walk away in overtime. The second straight overtime loss for Cincinnati, 20-17. Baltimore gets the victory. Probably the biggest shocker to a lot of people. Carolina walked into Candlestick and pulled out a victory, 10-9. Defensive battle, great game on both sides. In the way of their defense, honestly, that's the kind of game I like to watch. I like good defensive battles like that. That's football to me. It's good to see that kind of battle in today's game. You really don't see that anymore. Arizona hosted the Texans and won 27-24. It was a close game until late, and I was happy to see it end the way it did. Denver headed into San Diego and pulled out a victory 28-20. They almost handed this victory away. I wish that they had, but again, Denver wins and stays with only one loss on the season. Sunday Night Football, New Orleans and Dallas played each other, and New Orleans walked away with a 49-17 victory over Kyle's Cowboys, and I was a little happy, but I also kind of like, wow, they went ham as usual. Tampa Bay picked up their first win of the season on Monday Night Football, beating the Miami Dolphins 22-19, and that ends the scores for last week. I was happy to see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win finally. That's something that's just really cool to see. They pulled together, and Miami lost again. They've won 1 out of 6 right now. because I believe they are. Yeah, they're 4-5. So they start off 3-0, and they've gone 1-5 since then. Yeah, that's not good for them. Even though the whole thing is like completely messed up in the locker room. But I'm gonna bring in Kyle as we go ahead and move towards our NFL predictions, and we'll see what he has to say. What's going on, Kyle? You're on Football Talk.
Oh,
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Yeah, this is how I am. Yeah.
Keep floating on.
Yeah, whatever. Jeez. So how about those Cowboys last week, huh? Man, that elite quarterback you guys have at your helm. Kind of like how the Packers have an elite quarterback right now, too.
It's not about the elite quarterback. It's not an elite quarterback. It's not just a bad defense. We have Sean Lee and Mo Warren. It's just bad.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be talking about NFL predictions. Are you ready for this? Since there's like no NCAA at all, except for like 3 games.
Like Lance Stevenson, I was born ready.
Oh, my God. Don't give that chokehold, man. Don't give the chokehold. You may get burnt. That's okay, though. Go Pacers and Blazers and Celtics, even though they faced each other last night and Blazers killed them. So, yeah.
Go Hawks, and we got to throw the Dub Nation for the Warriors, baby.
Man, we're just doing like self-plugs for all of our teams, man. That's just amazing. All right, let's move it on. Moving on before we get too out of control. Atlanta heads into Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers. Who you got in this one, Kyle?
Well, Atlanta last week, oh man, it's just been awful. If you've been a Falcons fan, they got blown out by the Seahawks, thoroughly dismantled by Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson got his revenge for the game last year in the playoffs. The Falcons look like they're on their way to a top 10 draft pick. I think it gets even worse this week. I think the Buccaneers have confidence. Now, the running game will be questionable with Bobby Rainey in the backfield and Brian Leonard. But I do think Glennon's gained a lot of confidence. And if Glennon continues to play well, they may not even have to draft a quarterback next year, and they may go get somebody on the defensive side of the ball. And I think Vincent Jackson and Tyquan Underwood, the flat top, take advantage of the weak secondary of the Falcons. And I also think Timothy Wright has a big game as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a mild upset take down the Atlanta Falcons, who since about week 3 have gotten their wings shot off. So
yeah, I agree completely. I think the Bucs will pick up win number 2. Sorry, I'm burping from that coffee. I've watched the Buccaneers all season, so I have firsthand of what they can do. And I think Glennon, he's looked good every single week that he's been in there for a rookie quarterback. He's not a guy that had a lot of hype at all. He didn't have a lot of hype coming out of NC State. And, I think that he's a good quarterback. I think that he will continue to grow. I think if anything, over the offseason, they'll go and get a veteran to kind of coach him up and allow him to do good. And allow him to learn the system better. And, just like kind of just learn the game as he progresses. The running game, I don't know. They have, you could put anybody. And Leonard is a beast in the backfield. And they could put anybody in the backfield. They can probably put an old grandma with a wheelchair in the backfield, and they could still run the ball in the Atlanta Falcons defense. So, Atlanta, they are moving towards the top 10 pick, but I could see them trading up and trying to get an offensive player because they don't know how to build anything other than skill positions.
The offense is not bad. The offense is not the problem. The problem is in the trenches, the linebacking core. And in my opinion, I think they have a very small secondary. Size-wise, their secondary isn't very big and probably can't match up with some of the more physical receivers in the NFL. Yeah,
and they're about to go against one of the most physical this weekend. Vincent Jackson will beat you up on the line. I'm just saying, I agree completely. They have not done anything in the trenches, and they've not done anything in their defense. That's all that freaking, whatever his face is, the GM,
Thomas Dimitroff.
Yeah, Dimitroff. He can only build skill positions, so I can only see them doing that. They'll go after somebody like Marquise Lee, sadly.
Don't need another receiver.
Yeah, I know they don't need it, but that's just how they've always been. So, moving on, Packers and Giants. It's the 4:25 game on Fox. Packers head into MetLife. I gotta go with my boys. I'm gonna believe that Zoin's whatever the heck his last name is. Scott, he's gonna get hurt, and Matt Flynn will come in and throw 6 touchdowns like usual. Since he's used to these receivers, he knows the receivers, he knows the offense. I'm going to say Packers win by 3.
Now, here's the Giants are riding a 3-game winning streak after starting 0-6. If you look at the wins who they were against, the Vikings team that looked pitiful.
Oakland.
A Raiders team that could barely move the ball and still only lost by 4. Oakland could not move the ball. And then they beat the Eagles with Matt Barkley, so that counts, right?
I think so. Not really.
They still haven't beaten a starting quarterback since day one. Terrell Pryor didn't start the season as a Raiders. Oh, no, he did. But that was their first win over an actual starting QB for the first time of the season. Now, they're going up against another backup this week. But this backup has as much talent as any of the other 3. You got guys on the outside like Jordy. You got guys on the inside like Eddie Lacy. I think Eddie Lacy is going to be the key in this football game. I think Eddie Lacy is going to be able to pound it against the weak Giants front. And I think he's going to be able to, I think he'll have over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. He'll be the common ground game. And in the air, I think not Jordy Nelson. I think it'll be Jared Boykin stepping up, having the cojones. And I think on the defensive side of the ball, Clay Matthews is going to rally this group and say, we need this game. And the Packers are going to go get that game in MetLife. Big win for the Packers this weekend.
Thank you. I agree completely. And that's that. The Jets head into Ralph Wilson, which is always probably one of the hardest, if not the hardest place to go in and win. Just because that crowd loves their Bills football. But the Jets have that task this week. And I'm going to say it's going to go either down to the wire or it's going to go into overtime, but Jets win in a close game. They need this win. Whoever wins it, it's make it or break it for whoever wins this game.
Yeah, and the Bills know they need this one. 3-6 now. Really need a win. Going into their bye week, the Bills will be. I think actually they may be 3. I think they're 3-6. I think I may be right on that. But
yeah, they're 3-6.
Stevie Johnson out. Robert Woods out, so they're going to be kind of depleted. Marquise Goodwin in the receiving core is going to have to step up big time. Tyree and Scott Chandler are going to have to step up big time. I think it will be close. I think E.J. Manuel returns home in a big way. I think E.J. Manuel returns home for over 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a Bills win after an interception late in the game off Geno Smith. The Bills get a huge victory at home over the New York Jets.
Nice. I think it will be a good game. I probably will get that game, so I'm kind of happy. Hopefully, I do get that game. I get Bills football down here in close to Florida. I have no idea how, but CBS.
Hey, next year when I'm down there, we'll get every game.
Hey, don't say that kind of stuff, man. You get me excited. All right. Baltimore heads into the Bears, which is probably this is the game of the weekend where whoever loses is done. Probably at this point, they're done for the season because you have other teams in their division that are doing well.
Too much ground to gain.
Yep, exactly. So, and how ironic is it that it's 2 NFC and AFC teams? It's two North teams in those conferences that are facing each other, which shows you how good those divisions are this year. Other than the Steelers and Minnesota, but we won't get there. I'm gonna pick Ravens to go into Soldier Field and take down the Bears.
Now, Bears going to be playing with Josh McCown. McCown stepped up a couple weeks ago and went over the Packers. Granted, it was not Aaron Rodgers, but still to go into Lambeau and win with a team big.
It doesn't count.
McCown likes to go to Jeffrey, and I think he'll keep the Bears in the game. But the Ravens know they need this game to keep pace with the Bengals. They won last week against the Bengals. They know now they have to keep pace. I think they do just that. Flacco, big game, 3 touchdowns. He won't throw a pick or 2. He has a big game, and I expect Torrey Smith to be on the receiving end of one. I think defensively, Matt Elam has a big game, and obviously I think Chief Sizzle has a big game. Terrell Suggs, Ravens go on the Soldier Field and get a big win, and the Bears flip even further.
There you go. Sorry, I'm like drawing on my cheat sheet who we're picking so I can kind of like review it without having to listen back later on. Sorry. All right, Browns head into Cincinnati to take on the Bengals, and I'm at a dilemma because I have to either start Andy Dalton or or T Brady this week, and I'm gonna probably go with T Brady, but I'm gonna say the Bengals are gonna win at home because Andy Dalton will have a field day with that Browns. I mean, I like Joe Hayden and stuff like that, but I think that they're coming off of 2 straight overtime losses, so they're definitely reeling, but they're reeling in the good way right now.
Yeah, and I think here's the deal with Cincy. They come home after a rough 2 games. They go on the road twice. There's an overtime. It's tough. It could easily be 8-2 right now. Kind of tough, but Hayden will find a way. He did it week 4. He'll do it again. He'll find a way to contain A.J. Green and keep the Browns in the ball game. But in the end, Dalton at home, I really wouldn't bet against him. I wouldn't put my money on chasing him. I think Cleveland will keep it close. I think this game goes into the 4th quarter very good. I think the Bengals edge out a win, though.
Good. I'm glad we're consistent. Consensus. I don't even know how to speak, man. Who knows? Good God. All right. Redskins head into Lincoln Financial Field, take on Eagles. This is a complete barf fest for any Cowboy or Giants fan. I'm gonna say Eagles will win because Nick Foles is on fire right now, and that Washington defense it's almost as good as. Oh no, I won't. Never mind. It's not as bad as Atlanta's, but it's pretty close.
No, but the thing is here. Fun fact: the Eagles haven't won a home game since week 3 of last season, so home field advantage doesn't exist in Philadelphia. But Washington knows they need this game if they want to keep any hope they do have of a playoff berth alive. Robert Griffin, this is probably one of his biggest moment of the season thus far. His biggest game. I think he shows out. I think Robert Griffin III will have his best game of the season on a Eagles defense. Now, I'm not saying I think Foles will have a great game too. I just think the Redskins, going back to the more desperate team theory using in the beginning of the season, we'll see if it works for me again. The Redskins are more than a desperate team. They're craving a win. They know they need it. Alfred Morris, big game.
I hope so.
Receiving-wise, Leonard Hankerson. Defensively, just look for guys like Brian Araxo and London Fletcher to get the job done and rally the troops and say, Redskins need this win. Go into Lincoln Financial and get the W.
Oh wait, hold on. We can't say Redskins on the air, remember? Oh wait.
Oh yeah, forgot.
Yeah.
If the Native Americans aren't profiting off it, then they don't want their name being used.
That's terrible, dude. Oh my God.
I guarantee you, if they're profiting off it, they would say, "Oh, you can keep it."
It's like I don't know why everybody gets upset about the Redskins. I know it's derogatory and it's very offensive, and I understand that completely. And I know they're saying that it doesn't show any kind of like respect like the Chiefs or Seminoles does, or even the Braves. But to me, even though I'm not a Native American, I know, but Redskins, that name is not as offensive as the logo for the Cleveland Indians, showing a derpy looking Indian that has a red face, and like it's insulting just to even see that kind of symbol. At least the Redskins, I think they're more upset about the Redskins symbols because back in the day it was just an R with a circle around it with feathers coming off of it, so they didn't actually have like the picture of the Indian on it or the Native American on it. Sorry. So I don't know. It's a very, I don't know. I guess like the other side of it would be like, what was if we had a team that was called the Whiteskins, and would that offend people? So it's a very tricky thing, and I don't mind them getting upset about it. I think that it's right for them to feel like that. It's just, or if you had a team called like the Blackskins or the that type of stuff. So but I think Redskins. I think that Alfred Morris will have a good game. I hope he does because I need him to. Of course, I'm facing my sister, so never mind. I'm just playing. Watch her kill me this week. That'd be hilarious. Knowing my luck, it will happen. Freaking all my quarterbacks go down with broken collarbones. Moving on. Lions head into the Steel City to take on the Steelers. And I have a lot of teams winning by 3 this week. I just feel it's gonna be like one of those weeks where it's gonna be very defensive. And I had the Lions winning by 3 against the Steelers this week.
I think this is the Lions' opportunity to go take a division that looks like it's theirs. But
Screw you.
But here's the thing. Steelers coming off a very big win at home over the Bills. A lot of people don't think they're going to win the game, but I digress. They won the game. They looked impressive. Now they're up to 3-6. They are 2 weeks away from a huge showdown on Thanksgiving night in Baltimore. Now, if they can win this game, you can honestly make the argument Steelers, especially if the Jets lose, Steelers are back in the playoff hunt.
I know, right?
I think they get it done. I think they rise up in front of the Heinz Field crowd. I think they're going to find a way to get to Matthew Stafford, even with a depleted defense. Now, Calvin Johnson is the X-Factor. Calvin Johnson has a big game. That's all they gain. So, I think they find a way to contain Reggie Bush. I think the Steelers, big men, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Le'Veon Bell adds another touchdown. Steelers, fourth quarter win by 3.
Yeah, like I said, 3 points are going to win. I think 3 points are going to win a lot of games this week. That's just how the NFL season's been. I'm happy. Either way, I'm happy. I like both teams. I just think Lions have a little bit more of the edge, but if the Steelers win, then that helps my Packers out. So we'll see, and I know my dad will be happy if the Steelers win again too. Cardinals head into Jacksonville. Oh dear God. Take on the Jags. I picked against the Jags last week, and I'm not going to change how I pick. I'm going to pick the Cardinals this week by 3.
I think the Cardinals surprisingly good this year. I mean, everybody thought the Rams were going to surprise people in that division, but it's turned out to be the Cardinals, not the Rams, especially with Sam Bradford's injury. I think the Cardinals take care of business. A lot of people trendy pick after the Jaguars coming off a win that they built confidence. There's like, oh yeah, we got a W, baby. First one since last season, like in week 10. First win in about a year. But Cardinals playing on a different level right now. Won a couple in a row. Larry Fitzgerald has a big game on that secondary. I think this is kind of bold, but 150 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a very nice one-handed grab that'll be on SportsCenter's top 10 on Sunday night. But
of course,
has a good game as well.
I hope he does.
As the Cardinals take a 2-touchdown win in Jacksonville.
Wow, I had them winning by 3. I could see it happening though. Again, a great defense.
Bears again.
Oh my God. I know, right? I should just go down there and be like, hey, yeah, can you hook me up? Yeah, boom. All right. Houston heads into Oakland to take on the Raiders. The silver and black. And I'm going to say that Houston will pick up a win for Kubiak again. I could see Oakland tearing a new one, but again, like Oakland, the only reason why they beat the Steelers is because Terrell Pryor had that touchdown. If he hadn't had that touchdown, the Steelers would have won that game if everything had played out the way it happened. I just think that Houston needs the wins more than Oakland does because Oakland's not catching up to anybody in that division. And Houston still is alive in their division, sadly. So
really?
Yeah. So what?
Not really.
Yeah, but they're more alive than they don't have They don't have 2 teams that are 9-0 and 8-1 in their thing. So, and with Tennessee losing, again.
That makes the divisions wider for the Colts. It's just the Colts to lose.
So I'm gonna pick Houston to win just because I think Casey Keenum's gonna have a good game, and I think that I could see Charles Woodson getting his his record-breaking pick 6 in this game. Honestly, I'm gonna call that. That's their only. It's gonna be like 10 to. Let's see. The final score is gonna be 21-17. That's what the final score is gonna be for Houston.
I think Houston rises up once in front of their home crowd and in front for Kubiak. I think Watt has a good game, 2 or 3 sacks defensively. I think to get to Pryor, contain him running outside the pocket. Offensively for the Texans, I think it's not going to be the running game. I think guys like Andre Johnson and DeAndre Hopkins are going to have to step up, as well as Case Keenum. But I do think they get the job done on Sunday. I think they're very good home.
Oh no, they're on the road.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I think they're at home.
No, they're on the road.
Okay.
Yeah. Chargers head into good old bully Sun Life Stadium, take on the Dolphins. I'm going to say the Dolphins are going to lose, and the Chargers will take this one easily against a very broken team. By at least a touchdown.
Yeah, I think Philbin, his job may be in danger because of the whole situation. Because he may lose the locker room over this. And it's sad to see Now, I have my opinions on it, but it's just kind of sad to see go down this way. This team started 3-0, had great promise, just falls flat on their face. Like they started 3-0 since they're 1-5. I think they move it to 1-6. See the Chargers coming off an emotional loss to the Broncos. We're in the game. Rivers had a very good game, but just couldn't overcome the offense of the Broncos. I think Rivers goes in and gets a big win and keeps the Chargers in the playoff race.
Yeah, watch Dwight Freeney have a big game since he plays for the Chargers now.
Yeah, he's out for the season.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Well, he'll come back with his ACL tear still and attack that.
I'm going to make a tackle.
Yeah. Don't touch my knee. It's like in 3 places. I think Chargers defense will just do good. I think Quentin Jammer will have a good game, unless he's out too.
I think Eric will have a good game. Secondary.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch that game. I'll probably get that game too. Good God. 49ers head into the Saints. Probably the marquee matchup. I don't know. Maybe the Chiefs game. Maybe I think this game means a little bit more.
Sunday night games for the other night games. This is the marquee matchup of the day.
Yeah, the day game marquee matchup is 49ers and Saints. I'm gonna say 49ers will shock the Saints in the Superdome.
Oh, I agree with you. Now the Saints have buttload of confidence right now. I mean, coming off they decimated a Cowboys defense that ranks 31st in pass defense, so that's surprising to me being a Cowboys fan. If the Cowboys couldn't stop Drew Brees, probably couldn't stop Drew Brees' mama last week, but
or his 3-year-old son.
I mean, maybe they could have stopped Drew Brees' wife, but that's only because she's so hot. But they would have just stopped and looked at her. But getting back to this, I think it's they're going to be overconfident. They're going to look past. Because not only do they have this game with the Niners this week, a couple weeks on Monday Night Football, they got a trip to Seattle, that's going to be a marquee matchup on Monday Night Football in a couple weeks.
Legion of Boom, man.
And with Jimmy Graham's health still in question, and the Niners know they need this win, if the Niners lose this game, they're in trouble, maybe not even making the playoffs.
Yeah.
So they know they need this win. I think Frank Gore has a big game. I think Kaepernick, after a rough game last week, I think Kaepernick bounces back heavily. Outduels Drew Brees, and the Niners get a massive win in the Superdome.
Without the lights going out this time. Hey, maybe it will go out and help the Niners again like it did in the Super Bowl. Maybe they'll make it go out again on purpose again.
I've said it once, I'll say it again. How does a billion-dollar company's lights go out during the Super Bowl?
I don't know. Maybe they spent some of that $1 zillion money and paid somebody.
Right at you, Mr. Roger Goodell.
All right, Minnesota heads into Seattle. And what I have written down here on my cheat sheet is, Seahawks.
Now, I think Peterson will Seahawks' run defense has been vulnerable. Not last week, though, because the Falcons have no running game, but the weeks before, like games, and Zach Stacy got to them. So I think Adrian Peterson will have a very decent game. I think Peterson maybe gets in the end zone once or twice, depending on his ponder, how his arms doing, throwing the ball and everything. But I think the Seahawks defense feasts on Ponder. The Legion of Boom, baby. Chancellor, Browner, Earl Thomas, and of course, Richard Sherman. But I just think they get the job done. Russell Wilson has a big game with the return of Percy Harvin. Just clicking on all cylinders. This team looks like the best in the NFC right now. You got to go Seahawks big.
Yeah. I agree. Seahawks they're rolling right now. I can't wait for the Saints to go up there and get their butts kicked. All right. Sunday Night Football, Chiefs, Broncos, probably, and
let's go.
Everybody's picking the Broncos, and I'm gonna have to go against that and say the Chiefs will shock the world on Sunday Night Football in Sports Authority Field, and beat the Broncos on a pick six. Peyton Manning goes out of the game early to 3 sacks in the first quarter. Done for a couple weeks, and the Broncos will miss the playoffs completely. I'm just playing. I must be smoking some crack.
He ain't gonna miss the playoffs.
Yeah, but I think that Peyton Manning will get completely destroyed this game, and there will be quite a bit of defensive touchdowns in this game. There'll be some defensive. There'll be a lot of defense in this game on one side of the ball because the other defense sucks. And I think that Smith will stand tall in the pocket and not have to worry about getting hurt. So.
Well, the thing with this game for me is that the Kansas City defense is based around feasting on the quarterback and getting to the quarterback, pressuring and getting hits on the quarterback with guys like Muhammad Ali, guys like Justin Houston, and I think this, with Peyton Manning banged up a little bit, I don't know what's the extent of the injury, but maybe one or two hits, you can knock him out of the game. I think a shaky Peyton Manning equals giving the Chiefs a chance in this game. Alex Smith, the key in this game, because the Broncos are a very good run defensive team. If the Chiefs can get out with guys like Dwayne Bowe, Dexter McCluster, if Alex Smith can complete passes down the field and just get big gains on that Denver secondary, Chiefs have a chance to win their game. Alex Smith has been as efficient as any quarterback in the National Football League in the last 2 years, the best winning percentage and the best win-loss record in the NFL since 2008. The Chiefs want to prove a point. They want to prove that they're a real contender. They do that this Sunday night. And they get a massive win to move to 10-0 over the Denver Broncos. On
the road as well.
Exactly.
Monday Night Football.
Woo! I'm giddy. This is one I circled. If the Panthers were going to be good, if the Panthers are good, this is one I circled.
Patriots head into Charlotte, Carolina North Carolina at that point, and they take on the Panthers. Very hot Panthers right now, who have won 5 in a row. Correct? 6 in a row? 4 in a row? 5. Yeah, they've won 5 in a row. Now I'm going to say this. The Patriots will lose on a field goal, and the Carolina Panthers will win the game.
Now, the Panthers' defense, as we saw last week, has been playing better than anybody in the National Football League this season. That front seven is scary good. And this is the spotlight Cam Newton loves. Cam Newton loves to be in prime time on Monday night. We saw what happened with him on Monday night last year. Showed out. Cam Newton waiting for his opportunity. But this time it's not against the Eagles with Michael Vicker. I think Nick Foles is actually playing in that game. This is not in Philadelphia against a low-life Eagles team. This is on Monday Night Football against the perennial powerhouses against the New England Patriots. Tom Brady coming into Carolina. Coming into Charlotte. Now, I think some of the passing game will get taken away. Akeem Talib probably going to get matched up on Steve Smith. Probably going to take Steve Smith away from the game. Fancy owners do not start Steve Smith. I have to because I know the option, but still. But I think the key in this game will be the front seven on both sides. Can Cam Newton make enough plays to give the Panthers a shot to win? I think he does it. Now, Cam has been lighting it up. Didn't look so good last week, but he hasn't been using his legs. He's been more passing this year. This week, he uses his legs again. He starts running. I think Cam Newton rushes for 80 yards and a touchdown, throws for 2 touchdowns. As the Panthers make a statement and say, we are a Super Bowl contender, knocking off the Patriots this Monday night.
I agree. I don't think that this Patriots defense, though, is as dominant as they were whenever they went to the Super Bowl in 2003.
Yep.
That defense is one of the best defenses I think I've ever seen.
I forgot about that. This is a Super Bowl 38 rematch or 37.
Yeah, I think that this is actually I think that they haven't played since then either.
So it'll be interesting.
Yeah. All right, so that's it for the NFL predictions. Moving over to the crappiest weekend, really. Nah, there's been some other bad weekends, but another bad weekend in college football. We only have about 3 games that we want to kind of touch base on. And we'll start out west. And by the way, Kyle, this time Newton isn't playing in the spotlight close to where he won the national championship, just to let you know. He's like all the way across the country. So
I know.
He's close to it. It's not like it's across the United States or anything.
This is in relative range where he went to college, Plains and Auburn. Relative range.
Relative. Stanford heads into the Coliseum to take on the Trojans of USC. And I had to pitch my upset right here and say that USC will shock them at home in the Coliseum.
Now, Ed Ogeron has breathed life into the team. Lane Kiffin getting fired after the big blowout loss at Arizona State. I think they have in front of a now. This crowd before games like Boston College was like, we may go. Not very many people showed up. This is a primetime game in the Coliseum, night game. They live for this. California at the Coliseum, USC fans. They're going to come out. They're going to be around. That's going to give them an edge. But Stanford's front seven is so physical. USC has not seen a team this physical. I think USC takes them to their limit. I think USC takes Stanford to overtime. But in the end, the more experienced and the more physical team takes the W here. Stanford in double overtime.
Wow. I think that this has probably been one of the best rivalries in the last 4 years of college football.
That alone has created some great rivalries in the past 5 years.
Yeah, and just because, what was it, 2 years ago we had the 3 overtime 3 years ago we had the 3 overtime game between Stanford and USC. Then we had another 2 overtime game against each other. And then this year it'll probably be the exact same thing. So it's definitely a really good rivalry right now, and it will be a good game tomorrow night on ESPN. So, yeah, I'm excited for it. Moving on, Big Ten matchup of the weekend, really to look out for. The underrated Michigan State Spartans head into Nebraska to take on the Cornhuskers. And who you got in this one?
Now, this is a matchup of a shaky offense. Nebraska played good in the past couple of weeks, going into the Big House last week, getting a big W in the Big House. The winner of this game most likely goes on to play Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game. Now, Nebraska has alternated quarterbacks. They've gone for Tommy Armstrong. They've gone for Taylor Martinez. They've swapped around a little bit. I think at home, they're going to jump out to a lead, 14-0 lead, but they don't score more than 3 after that. That Michigan State defense, getting back to like the Stanford's defense is physical. Michigan State's defense is not just physical, they're finesse. They go out, they're ball hawks. Best defense in the country. I think they have the most takeaways in the country.
Yeah, they have the most points of any defense in the country. Yeah.
Mark D'Antonio pitches the team up. Now, the key for Michigan State, can Connor Cook and the offense get going? In Nebraska, hostile environment, this is what Mark D'Antonio has said. This is the game, marquee game. This is their opportunity to make a statement in the Big Ten. Get back to the Big Ten championship for the second time in 3 years. They do it. Michigan State comes from behind, earns the respect, jumps into the top 15 of the BCS tomorrow. Finally, they're going to be 9-1 if they win today. So,
yeah.
As Michigan State picks up a huge W, it probably cinches a spot in the Big Ten championship game.
And then they'll go on to beat Ohio State. I have Sparty winning as well. I love my Spartans. I gotta stick with them. Their basketball team's coming off a big win against the number 1 team in the country, and that will play some hype up, and it'll get the crowd. They'll have some people travel, and so I think that team will just be hyped. They're ready for it. They're probably one of the most underrated Big Ten team next to Minnesota this year that I've seen, and they're extremely. I think they're better than Ohio State just because their defense.
That's a stretch.
Yeah, I know, but you've been preaching how Ohio State hasn't played anybody. Michigan State has played their in-state rival already. They've done a lot of stuff like that, and they've shown that they're better than they are. I know it's a down year for Michigan, but I'm just saying Michigan State. I think right now, I think they have more momentum than Ohio State because they're having to fight for victories, and so they have more perseverance to get the job done than Ohio State does, which has just been killing everybody. So, I think Michigan State wins, though. I got to stick with my Spartans, like I said.
Michigan, take notes from Ohio State. Go schedule somebody. Notre Dame, Michigan State schedules Notre Dame every single year.
Yeah.
They go out and play teams out of conference. Go schedule somebody. Instead of scheduling FAMU or the Sisters of the Poor.
Yeah, Ohio State. Go out and schedule UTEP or something like that. Something extremely good. Moving on to the last NCAA prediction we're going to do today because there's no games at all other than these three. The Georgia Bulldogs head into War Eagle, Auburn Tigers, to take on the Tigers of War Eagle. Yeah. So, hostile environment, honestly. And UGA hasn't been there. UGA hasn't been there since Cam Newton played. I don't think. And is that right? Yeah.
No, they played there last year, but that was when Auburn was,
Oh, okay. So they played a crappy Auburn team last year. So they really haven't been in Auburn since Cam Newton played there. So I'm picking UGA to. I'm just playing. I can't do that. Auburn wins. They roll to victory.
Now, this is the Deep South oldest rivalry. Deep South oldest rivalry, and the overall record in this series right now is 76 in the draw back in 1938. So that shows how competitive this rivalry's been. Now today, it's the surprising 9-1, number 7 in the country, Auburn Tigers, taking on the number 25. Don't know why they're there. Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia and Todd Gurley are going to be able to exploit the run defense of Auburn's very weak run defense. That's one thing Auburn's got to improve on very drastically before they go up against Yeldon and Drake in a few weeks. And the thing that Georgia's going to force Nick Marshall to do on the offensive side for Auburn is throw the football. They're going to force Nick Marshall. Auburn, the last 2 weeks, they've won 2 games in the past 2 weeks, but they've only thrown 16 passes. So they're a predominantly run-first team, and Georgia's front seven will contain Trey Mason and guys like that for as much as they can, as long as they can. In the end, this game is going to go down to the wire. I think Georgia knows they need this game to try and get to an SEC championship and a possible rematch with Alabama. Not that it would matter, but they know they need this game. But these Auburn fans, if you ever hear this, Sam Oza, shout out to you, but those Auburn fans are going to be ready. These Auburn fans have been waiting for CBS to come back for a meaningful game like this. If Auburn wins today, that's their 10th win of the season after a season of going 3-9. That happens today. And the fight song for Auburn says, War Eagle tried it and true. That saying rings true today. Auburn, late, gets the job done, gets the defensive stop, picks off Aaron Murray late, and the Dogs fall to the War Eagle Auburn Tigers.
How in the hell would Georgia be able to get back into the SEC championship with 3 freaking losses?
They have 2 losses in conference. So
who cares? Georgia sucks. That's all I'm gonna say.
Georgia loses, they're eliminated from contention.
You know it's bad whenever Georgia Tech has more wins than you do, and losses. I can't wait for that game, dude. That game's gonna be so fun. But Auburn wins, and I think
I'm wearing my Cam Newton Heisman winner shirt today.
I'm so proud of you. So proud of you.
Repping them Tigers, man.
Maybe make sure your dad doesn't pay for anything illegal and you get caught by the NCAA. And they drop everything. Just make sure you don't do that.
Yeah.
All right, so that's our predictions for football. I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Kyle to kind of set up the NCAA basketball and NBA stuff right now. Here's some stuff he wants to talk about. Yeah. And
got a few games I want to talk about. Today, 1 o'clock Eastern Time, number 10 Ohio State takes on number 17 Marquette.
Aaron Kraft, woo, yeah.
Marquette coming off an Elite Eight berth last year. Me and Tyler saw that them play Syracuse, which was possibly the worst game of the tournament last year. But they take on Ohio State, who went to the Elite Eight as well, and we saw them got beat by them Shockers, man. They got shocked by the Shockers. So, with Quentin Ross, big player in Ohio State's offense this year, he's going to be probably He's a dark horse All-American pick for me. I think he's going to be a hell of a player this season. I think Aaron Kraft, a little rosy cheek guy. I think he's going to have a good season. But this is a big game at Marquette. Guys at Marquette. Now, the thing with Marquette is Buzz Williams, phenomenal job since Tom Crean has left for Indiana. He's taken them to the Sweet 16 3 years in a row. Now, the only thing that bothers me is Vander Blue, one of their best players. If Vander Blue has come back, this team is national championship caliber. Vander Blue left for the NBA, went undrafted. He's in the D-League now. So, but I think Ohio State gets the job done today. I think it's going to be a big game for them. I think Quentin Ross and Crash step up defensively, and that's what I think about that. Tuesday, number 8 Oklahoma State taking on number 13 Memphis in a big showcase for both teams. Now, everybody talked about how Oklahoma State returning what would have been a top 5 pick in last year's draft, Marcus Smart, point guard. They got guys like Brian Nash, and they have the best dunker in college basketball today in Markel Brown. Follow him on Twitter, Markel Brown 22. That's just a shameless plug. But Memphis, young coach Josh Pastner, he's returning. He's got a great recruiting class, number 13 in the country, number 8 Oklahoma State. That's a game to watch. It should be a very interesting game. If you have the chance on Tuesday, take a look and watch that game. Oklahoma State has got a chance to compete with Kansas for that Big 12 crown. I think Oklahoma State, they're one of my dark horse Final Four contenders. And I think they get the job done Tuesday against Memphis. And now heading over to the NBA and recapping a little bit. Thursday night, woo! I'll tell you what, Tyler.
Yeah.
I already can't wait for them Western Conference playoffs.
Yeah, I know. The Western Conference is going to be the most competitive of any conference, I think.
Whoever comes out of that conference wins 4 straight 7-game series, you're going to be battle-tested and ready for whoever comes out of the East, because we saw that game. Thunder Warriors. Warriors looked like they had it in the bag. Thunder stormed back, and then with 3 seconds left, Russell Westbrook buries a deep tray, puts the 3 guns in his holster, but then Andre Iguodala was like, not so fast, my friend. He's going to put a fadeaway, and Andre Iguodala's 4th buzzer beater since he came into the league. Only one other man has done that. That's Dwayne Wade. Now, instant impressions from recently in the NBA.
I see. Hold on, real quick. I see what you did there. The Thunder storm back. Oh, continue.
Well, 5 takeaways. The Pacers may be the team to beat in the East. Second takeaway, the Portland Trailblazers, like I said in our preview show, if you go back a couple weeks, will be a playoff team. They look like it right now. Keep playing that way. Ooh. Brooklyn Nets, takeaway, they got some work to do. Need to get better. 4th takeaway, the Magic have a very good young solid core, and they may be really good in a couple of years. And my 5th takeaway is that the Golden State Warriors have made the jump from just trendy pick last year, making the upset special, to a contender this year. So, but look out for, just keep watching the NBA. I'll keep some takeaways from early in the season. Other than that, just keep going on and enjoy your weekend, and follow me at KyleLance30. And I'll hand it back over to Tyler here.
Well, thank you, Kyle. And I hope that you have a good weekend, and I will talk to you on Xbox in a couple minutes.
Yep.
Thanks for calling the show, Kyle. And good picks this week, and maybe tomorrow will be better football than it will today. So.
Hopefully.
Yep.
Also, Walking Dead fans. Oh, you're so ready. All right.
I know my body's ready for Walking Dead tomorrow.
The governor is back.
Yep. Oh my God. All right, Kyle.
Also, real quick upset alert. I do think with all the distractions, Florida State may struggle with Syracuse today. Syracuse defense playing very well this week. Florida State wins, but do not count out the Syracuse Orange today.
I agree, but I think Florida State will win just because I don't know. That may actually probably be the best game of the ACC today. Honestly.
Don't forget about Dookie.
Dookie Maryland, Dookie the Turbo, baby.
Dookie's taking on my games. If Duke wins, they control their own destiny in the division in the ACC football.
Hey, Don't knock those Blue Devils, bro.
I'm not knocking them. That's pretty awesome. I hope they do it. I love my Canes, but they're just too injured. Too many injuries. Too many inconsistencies.
Yeah, you can't spell Duke Johnson without ACL. So
Oh.
I know. I'm sorry. That was mean.
It's okay. All right. Well, see you later.
See ya, Kyle. Alright, as every single time I end a video, you guys, I hope that you guys have a good weekend, and hope that you guys are listening to Football Talk, episode 12, on the 16th of November. Only a couple days, really, it feels like, away from Thanksgiving. Only like 2 weeks, maybe. Actually, it is 2 weeks. I have 6 days left of class. 6 days left of class. Sorry, I was like, 6 days left of class. So after that, I am pretty much free to do whatever. And there will be a lot more videos coming out for you guys. So stay tuned to my channel. Hit that like button for me if you like this broadcast, as always. And again, as always, thank you guys for listening to Football Talk. And I will talk to you guys later. Peace out. Enjoy your weekend of football, as always. Bye.